Hi, do you know where the best countries you can buy property under $100,000? Do you want an entire house? $100,000 doesn't seem like much. It's the bare minimum required nowadays to maintain a middle-class lifestyle. That includes a 30-year mortgage, kids' sports and field trips, car payments, and a short vacation once every year or two. But what if you could take $100,000 and move to a different country? Let's discuss more in the video. Buying a home overseas can be the beginning of a retirement adventure, even for those with a modest retirement budget. You don't need to be a millionaire to be able to own a home in another country. In select destinations throughout the world, you can buy a home for as little as $100,000 or less, including, in some cases, at the beach. You may even be able to improve your retirement finances by securing an affordable home overseas. Here are 10 of the world's best places to retire overseas in a home of your own for under $100,000. Number 1. Ecuador. Imagine living in a condo on a beach facing the Pacific Ocean. It's always warm and breezy, and the locals are beautiful and cultured. Also, it only cost you $75,000 for this lifestyle. If that sounds like a dream, head to Ecuador and make it come true. Sure, a somewhat malign dictator keeps law and order with an iron fist, but so long as you're not dealing drugs or marching in Marxist demonstrations, they won't bother you. According to Global Property Guide, expect to pay between $75,000 and $95,000 for a shiny new air-conditioned condo, and $100,000 for a house. Number 2. Albania. If you're looking for a more European lifestyle than South America can offer, Albania might be right up your alley. They've got beautiful Adriatic beaches, hundreds of miles of forest, gorgeous old-style European towns, and a few cities with all the amenities and nightlife. You can buy a 3-bedroom townhouse in Tirana for around $60,000. That leaves you with $40,000 in your pocket, which will give you an extravagant lifestyle for 2 years. As members of the European Union, you get to travel to all the rest of the continent while always coming back to your beautiful, cheap, beachfront home. Number 3. Vietnam. If you want more stability and less crime and corruption than Cambodia offers, head next door to Vietnam. Although technically a communist country where the ownership of private property is outlawed, Vietnam has a thriving real estate market. It seems all that Marxist mumbo-jumbo gets in the way of making money, so now people can buy property in Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi. A gated bungalow in Hanoi will cost you $50,000, which means you can live like a king for many years with the other $50,000. Property prices are rising very quickly, so if you're going to get in for under $100,000, do it fast. Number 4. Mexico. You used to be able to live cheaply in Mexico, but the average housing price in Mexico City and around the Gulf has risen dramatically in the past few years. You can't find anything for under $100,000. You can, however, look to the Pacific Coast or down south. There you'll find the same kind of laid-back living that Mexico is famous for, and $100,000 will easily get you a small villa or a nice air-conditioned condo with a couple of bedrooms. This probably isn't ideal for family living, but if it's just you, why not take it easy for a while? Number 5. Thailand. Thailand offers something for everyone. You could buy a $10 million luxury penthouse suite in a shiny all-glass building in the heart of Bangkok, or you could enjoy a quiet, simple house on the coast for around $30,000. The general rule of thumb is that the closer to Bangkok you get, the more expensive everything. You won't find much for sale on the crowded tourist islands of Koh Samui or Krabi, but head to Surat Thani or Rayong and snatch up a cheap house right on the beach. The political situation in Thailand has stabilized a lot recently, so your investment should be protected. Number 6. Bulgaria. The jewel of Eastern Europe sits on the Black Sea and has dazzling beaches. The capital, Sofia, is a beautiful city that mixes classical elegance with modern glitz. You can live here for around $80,000. A house on the Black Sea will cost you about $75,000, while a shiny new condo in Sofia will run you $90,000. According to Numbeo, the average cost of living for food, utilities, transportation, and clothing is around $200 a month. With a stable and growing market and the strong protections of the European Union, your investment is well protected. Plus, you'll get to learn some pretty funky traditional folk dances. Number 7. Hungary. Between 2006 and 2014, the housing market in Hungary crumbled. This was bad news for people living there, but good news for anyone looking to snatch up cheap property. Today, the market has rebounded and cities like Budapest are booming. You can still buy a decent gated bungalow in the Budapest suburbs for around $90,000. If you want to go even cheaper, head to the countryside and buy an entire micro-farm for $50,000. You'll need to learn Hungarian, rated the world's most difficult language. And you'll also need to love driving a beat-up Lada over massive potholes. You won't have any North American stress to deal with, however. Number 8. The Philippines. Retirees have been flocking to the Philippines in recent years due to the low cost of housing and the excellent health care. You don't need to be a baby boomer to buy a home here, however. If you have $80,000, you can get a nice 2-bedroom apartment in Manila. A house near a beach on one of Philippines' 7,000 islands will cost you about $60,000. Food is cheap, the weather is warm, and healthcare is affordable. Just watch out of corrupt officials, such as traffic cops. And if you try driving on Manila's insane roads yourself, at least you'll have some cash left for the hospital bill. Number 9. Austria. When you think of affordable living, you probably don't think of Europe. Austria is still as friendly to budgets as it is to visitors. You won't afford anything in Vienna, so forget about pretentious cultural living. You can find decent condos in Tefn, St. Urban, and Carinthia for around $90,000, which puts you a short train ride away from the capital. Because you're in Austria, you can enjoy the best beer in the world and some world-class skiing on the Alps. Best of all, housing prices are rising about 4% per year in Austria, so you can build some equity too. Number 10. Scotland. Everyone says how beautiful and amazing Scotland is, but nobody ever thinks to actually live there. Well, if you want to live for under $100,000, you should consider Scotland. You can buy an entire 2-story terraced house in Lossiemouth for $100,000. Kilmarnock remains one of the most affordable regions in the UK, with townhouses selling for around $90,000. That's cheaper than a kilt and bagpipe set. The days of Braveheart and Trainspotting are over. Scotland today is a progressive, modern, and awe-inspiring land steeped in mystical history. Winters are wet and foggy, but that's okay because summers generally are as well, so you only need one set of clothes. Thanks for watching our list of 10 best countries you can buy property or house under $100,000. Keep up to date on more interesting videos by subscribing to my YouTube channel.